Let's talk today about some mindfulness meditation techniques. Oh, I have a real powerful one for you, believe me. I'm talking about understanding the power of your subconscious. Yes, the power of your subconscious mind to live the life that you want. And I'm going to discuss in detail a prayer to heal maybe a relationship, perhaps, or to a prayer for how to achieve your dreams because you feel you're falling behind on that. And I'm going to share a wonderful principle from A Course in Miracles that I am going to explain thoroughly, and I'm so excited. Hey everyone, James Nussbaumer, thank you for joining me in another episode of For a Better Life podcast. And by the way, if you are at YouTube right now listening to this, there is a wonderful, wonderful access link in there about the power within. It's called The Power Within, how to tap in, a free video that I urge you to watch on, tapping into your inner power. And that's really where we're going here very quickly today. And, it's very early in the morning. The sun is not quite up yet. So I might sound kind of like I'm still kind of not out of bed yet. That early morning voice that we all have as I'm sipping on my Maxwell House coffee. That's where I'm at. Well, I'm on a porch outside of my studio on another level of the building that I'm at, and a porch on my laptop here. And so you might, if you hear some noise in the background, first of all, let me say that there were thunderstorms last night. By the way, today is August 26th, 2018. So in the background, if you do hear something, because I'm outside, last night, on Saturday night, there was a car show which they have every Saturday night in the town I'm in called Massillon, Ohio. Old guys and young guys, they bring their antique cars and park them on the streets and show them off. Well, last night, a couple of guys said, well, let's race through town tomorrow from one stoplight to another. They designated a distance and so forth. And they said, let's do it at sunrise, they said. Well, they said, well, what about the police? And there was a police officer walking by, kind of like an officer walking the beat, so to be. And one of the guys mentioned to him, and everybody laughed and said, no, we're not going to say anything as long as you're not hurting anybody, but, get it done in a hurry. Make sure there's no traffic on the road. He kind of, under his breath, said that. In other words, so isn't that cool? And one of the points about this podcast today is, you've heard other people in your life as you were growing up and say, we're all in this world together. How many times have we heard this? Well, what does that really mean? Well, do you remember when you were, say, 16 years old, 17 years old, playing on the football team? And I mention that because on Friday night, 2 nights ago, the town is going crazy here in Massillon, Ohio. The Massillon Tigers high school football team, they won 37-7 and beat this team from Akron who thought they were going to come into town and kick Massillon's butt, but they didn't. And the Massillon Tigers won. So anyways, my point is, but we say that they're just kids playing football. But when we were playing football at that age, and when parents and older people, and we would hear them in the background say, oh, they're just kids, they don't know what you're talking about, didn't that kind of like make you think like, no, I'm not just a kid anymore. Hey, I'm 17 years old and I'm on the football team. I'm not a kid. Well, guess what? At 17 years old on the football team, you are a kid still. And I can say that easily because I thought that way, and we all thought that way. So let's move on. Now, as we get into understanding how we're all in this world together, we are all in this world together, like I said before. What do we mean? Now, think about this for a minute. As human beings, let's take the ages of people from, say, right now that we can talk to and relate to like your youngest grandchildren, from say the ones that are just starting to walk, or the ones that are just you're cradling in their arms that was just born, a new infant. Isn't that great to cradle that new infant? All the way to the woman that's say 99 years old or 100 years old, or the man that's 190, 100 and some years old, not 199, but you know what I mean. And that, to that age, but they're all still living. But aren't we? But see, that's like one, we want to say that there's 3 generations there, one segment to another segment to another segment. But in this world, aren't we all who are living here together at this time, no matter if you are that infant that was just born, or if you're that 103-year-old man or woman, God bless them, But aren't we all in this world together? Because you know what? 100 years from now, all of us in that time frame will be gone. Let that sink in to you, please, as we move on. Now, I have to say that Josephine from an area called Ripley in England, in Surrey, England. Ripley is a village, she told me, and she's in my mastermind group, and she's in, which is Surrey, England. Well, Josephine, she says she goes by Josie. So, I'm going to call her Josie, but she asked, why is it that, my husband for 12 years, she's in her mid-40s. Her husband for 12 years decided to leave her. And not because of hate or anything like that. He was honestly said to her that what I'm doing in my life, in my career and everything, is butting up against with what you're doing, and we're not aligned together. He was honest about that, and he told her that. So there was no, fighting or that kind of stuff to where there was violence or volatile language towards each other. And it hurt her because she thought that they were aligned, but they really weren't. He had the strength to come forward and say, we have to end this because I'm going this way. And where I'm going, we won't be able to go together this way. You're going the other way at this crossroad that we're at, and I won't be able to go that way. So let's just bless each other, and you go that way, and I'm going to go this way. Surely she accepted the blessing that he said, but she's still down and out about that. And and so this is kind of the point of this today, because I'm going to give Josie, who is listening, I know she is because I emailed her and told her to, be listening to this podcast. But it's not just about Josie, it's about you who are listening. You've had experiences like this. We've all had. But isn't it though a nice thing to see that even though they split and they made their own crossroad, but they decided to split in a way where even though he went this way, she went that way, they kind of understand that, and there's no anger involved, but there's a little bit of hurt. And the hurt comes from the ego, because anytime that we make further separation from what we think is wholeness, that hurts. So it's fake wholeness that they had. But what's great about it is that he decided, and she agrees now because she thought about it, that they never really had the wholeness that they wanted together as humans, as spiritual, but not as humans they might have. But as humans, they didn't have that. So he decided, but he convinced her in a nice way. Let's go our separate ways. I'll always respect you. She even told me that in emails. I mean, I get choked up about this. Why can't we end relationships when it happens in a kind of a way like that? But anyways, Josie is still down and out because she gave this man all of herself. And I feel her pain. I do. And you might be able to hear it in my voice because I've been through that myself in the past. But what inspires me about this is that they see this as a way of moving out of separation and into wholeness. So years are going to go by while we're all in this world, right? Still, because we're all in this world together in these generations, in this gap from age the infant to 100 or whatever, all of us that are listening to me, in this 100-year gap, we can say we're all in this world together, aren't we? So isn't that great that Josie, and I don't know his first name, she didn't tell me, they could end it that way? So my point is, and I sent a message to Josie. I said, I love Billy Joel, and for those of you that, in fact, she even noted that she's a Billy Joel fan too, and she's read my first book, and I mentioned that in there kind of briefly. But, and so I sent her a little line, and I said, you know what, Josie? And this is a line from Billy Joel in one of his songs called Vienna. And it says, "It's all right, you crazy child. Take the phone off the hook and disappear for a while. When will you realize that Vienna waits for you?" I mean, isn't that just great? Now, Billy Joel wrote that way back before there was even any internet. Now we're all connecting with the internet, and and so he's in that time frame with us. So getting back to what I had said, when we all heard that, hey, we're all in this life together, all in this world together. Yes, we are all in this world called Earth together right now. But we're all also into something that's called eternity together, and that never ends. So let's get moving, because I went a little bit overboard, so I might have to rush through this because I have my coach that keeps me aligned to keeping a time limit here. But let's talk about the power of your subconscious mind for achieving your goals and your dreams. Well, before I go on, I better take a sip of my morning Maxwell House coffee. And the sun is not up yet, so I haven't heard those guys that were bragging last night. So here's some car, loud muffler, like old muscle cars in the background, raring up. That's them ready to go on their race from one stoplight to a couple blocks away. Excuse me again. I just think that is so cool. All right. Well, the power of your subconscious can be accessed if you are willing and ready. And those are the words, willing and ready. If you're not willing, then you'll never be ready. The subconscious mind, which we can say is your inner divine self, is where all your great expectations come forth, and then you project that on the movie screen of life and you live it in this world. So your subconscious mind leads you to see more clearly so you can achieve your dreams. The crossroad that I talked about Josie and her husband, he who decided to part ways because they had separate dreams, but still whole at heart, but physically could not stay together in this world. Nothing wrong with that. That is so cool when people can come together like that. Sure, someone's going to be hurt when something like that happens, but Josie understands that. She understands that she's going, Josie, I know you understand you're going through that hurt, but you also understand that it has to be that way, and that way gives you a glimmer of light. You're tapping more into the light rather than diving deeper into the darkness of you being at odds with him who needed to go his way. For you women that are listening to me other than Josie, I certainly and truly, honestly hope that makes sense. Or for anybody, the men too that are listening to me. Anyways, here's an excellent daily exercise or meditation or even a prayer if you like. You might not maybe be into meditation yet or whatever. But I always like to say, Meditation is just wonderful. Prayer is for the asking. Meditation is for the listening, for the answer. But, to achieve your dreams, however you choose to accept it, can help you discover what it is you really want to do while you're in this world to help everyone else. Because remember, we are all of us that are listening to me. Hey, even if you are an infant right now, which you're not listening to me because you can't really understand yet, but you know what I'm saying? Even if you are an infant or you're 105 years old and you're listening to me right now, yes, we are all in this world called Earth together right now. And we all together see people leave the world at different stages. When we can look at it that way, that makes things so much simpler, doesn't it? If it doesn't, please read my book series. This podcast is not about selling my books, but if you're at my website listening to this, you'll see the About Me page or the home page, at jamesnussbaumer.com. You'll find more in my books. If you're at YouTube, there's a link to a blog article that I'm leading you to that will send you to my website, and you will be able to purchase my books there. By the way, 3 books so far by Ozark Mountain Publishing Company, a wonderful mainstream publisher who I'm so thrilled and just proud and happy to be a part of their publishing family. And I've got more books on the way, but so far it's the first 3 books. The Master of Everything, A Story of Mankind in the World of Illusion We Call Life is the subtitle. Book 2, its sequel, Mastering Your Own Spiritual Freedom, Lessons from A Course in Miracles, subtitle. And then book 3, I'm just so in tears, even this early in the morning as I'm sipping on my coffee, about book 3 finally being released. Oh, you just can't imagine how excited I am over that. So I hope that you will dive into my books. Well, let me just get into this. Here's the excellent daily exercise that I want you to, Josie in Surrey, England, in Ripley, Ripley is a village inside of Surrey, England. You can understand that for anyone who knows of England. That's the way she described it to me. Josie did. But here's an excellent daily exercise we're going to get into right now, or a meditation if you would like, that will help you to achieve your dreams, however you choose to accept it, and that you can discover what is within you and bring it to the real world. By the way, again, if you're at my blog listening to this, in the area there, you'll see a photo of a man sitting on a mountaintop, kind of a rock thing, and it says, here's how to tap into your inner power. I urge you to check out that video. It's a free video. Don't worry about it. It's a safe video. But A Course in Miracles states, leave then your needs to Him with a capital H. This can help you to live in the eternal inner world and achieve your dreams. So this new look at the world that you can begin gaining will bring you closer to the power of your subconscious mind, where real miracles manifest, in finding that perception is not an attribute of God, but if used in the right way as humans, as a perception to get us on the path, can be a path to be aligned with God. Whatever word you want to use for God, substitute it any way you want, no matter what part of the world you're from, which is the realm of knowledge. So, Josie, your husband that decided in a nice way to tell you, we're at a crossroads. I'm going this way, you're going that way. I love you wholly, but in this world, we can't be married anymore. And that is fine. That is so cool. But even though, Josie, you're hurting right now over that breakup, it had to be done. He did it in a nice way to tell you your goals, where you're going is great, where I'm going is great too. That is so, so cool. So that's what that means. But yet your Father in heaven, we could say, which I like to say because of my readings from A Course in Miracles, and your God essence that's within you, that, or the spiritual wholeness that we're all about, that I'm trying to explain. I say that with he because we're always used to saying God as a masculine overtone. He with a capital H. You can use she if you want, and I just don't in my podcasts and my writings because it's just what we're used to. But yes, he, God, okay, which who we are one with, okay, yes, he has given us his Holy Spirit as the mediator between perception and knowledge. Sometimes we perceive things, we think of things, we accuse people of things they're really not doing, or so we like to project guilt onto people or perceive it. But when we can perceive things more geared towards knowledge, that's on the right path. But when we are perceiving wrong-mindedly, where it's all about all we're doing is constantly thinking someone's attacking us, against us, that just leads us deeper into putting up more of a darkened wall. Does that make sense? I hope so. But it's why I highly suggest that you regularly practice mindfulness meditation. And you can learn more on that at my website. But with this link to God, I call the Holy Spirit, meaning a link. When you're linked to something, aren't you at one? But the link is something. The link is the Holy Spirit that I call the Spirit of God. That's the link. You, beyond your body in this world, the link to you and your Father. You want to call it, like I said, put a female overtone in there and call God your mother, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. And nobody would ever chastise you for saying that. But with this link to God, our perception will become so changed and purified that it will lead to knowledge. Knowledge is true and exact, real knowledge. Knowledge is not something that we think about. Oh, this might be the way. No, knowledge is real. So let's get into the meditation exercise. Here it is. Use it if you'd like as a prayer to heal a relationship or any other thing that you're going through at random throughout your day. Don't make a big deal out of it. At random throughout your day, remind yourself that you cannot see apart from God because you will never be apart from him. Like I said, she if you want to. All of our thoughts throughout the day, all of your thoughts and all of our thoughts go haywire, don't they? But so take all of your thoughts throughout the day. When you are looking at the world in another way, when you are seeing the world from deeper inside of you, aren't they of him with a capital H? And again, if you'd like to say, she with a capital, God, aren't those real true thoughts about what you really need to do? Of him, of your source with a capital S. Whatever you think you are doing so with his mind, his capital HIS with a capital MIND. You are the link to that mind. You are connected to it. So whatever you think you are doing in the right way, you are doing so in his mind. i.e., Josie's husband that took a turn at the crossroad and let her lovingly take another turn at the crossroad. Okay, while we're in this world, we're all in this together, right? We are all in this world together in this 0 years to 100 plus whatever years together. So we're all, no matter what age we are in this world, helping each other. To remind yourself of this, simply say to yourself gently, here's the meditation and how it goes, as you can without having any disrupt in your time of day. If you just lay back one time and just say this, it's simple and it goes like this. God is my source. I cannot see this chair I'm sitting in apart from him. God is my source. I cannot see my relationships without him. God is my source. I cannot see this career change I'm trying to take on without him. God is my source. I cannot see that I need to move on from this relationship. Keep in mind, I'm not promoting leaving relationships. All I'm promoting is that when we're all whole, and the theme of this podcast today is that we're all in this world together. So rather than to chastise someone to make yourself feel better because they are leaving you, or you to them, and the cops get called and all that kind of stuff, and all that violence that can lead, and that's where there's domestic violence in the world. Isn't it better to just say, hey, to understand this, and say, we're all in this together? But what I'm rather promoting is that you align yourself physically while you're in this world with someone else, with someone that understands that, who you can live the rest of your life with while you're in this world, with someone who understands that we're all in this world together. And you know what? I like you, you like me. Hey, let's get it on. And I put it that simple, but I'm trying to help Josie in Ripley, England. Ripley, a village inside of Surrey, England. Josie, does that make sense to make you feel better? Because sooner or later, a man is going to show up into your life, because it's supposed to be, because your readiness and your willingness is there. Actually, your willingness was there in the first place because you messaged me, and you're a part of my mastermind group, and you got the signal. And so now, because you are willing to let him go, who gently told you he was going another way, now you're being more comfortable with that and knowing that that's the way it needs to be. So now you are willing to be open. And because you're willing, you will be ready for the light of love to just shine through your life, Josie. I know you see that. I know you do. For everyone else, this can be a mind-boggling session, and I kind of intended that to be, because so many of us are caught up in this. Well, the guys that I thought they were going to race through the town with their muscle cars, that hasn't happened yet. It's time for me to go. I thought it would have been nice, since I said that you heard that boom boom going through town, but no. So it's early in the morning, and I'm just finishing up my coffee, and after I'm done here, I'm going to go back into my studio, and I'm going to write a detailed blog article on this absolute subject that we talked about today. So I hope that you will join me at jamesnussbaumer.com. I hope you will read my books. I hope you will support my work. I put so much effort into my work because I believe so wholeheartedly in what I'm doing. I want to make your life better, because when I make your life better, it's helping my life be better. And when my life becomes better, your life becomes better as well. Also, you'll note that at my website, if you're there, that there are other authors and other life coaches that I refer people to, because I cannot, if you read all of my books, like I always like to say, 3 books so far, but more are on the way, all the way up to number 16. Yeah, the sweet 16, we can call it. But even if you read all of my 16 books after they're all written, I don't have the answers for all of your problems. I'm just sharing my view on things, my writing to you. But I refer people to you at my website for things like whatever it is that's going on in your life that I wouldn't be able to answer, or that might lead you in a direction to get the healing that you need to live a better life. And somewhere, these same authors and coaches, psychologists, marriage counselors, uh, ministers of different religions and whatever. They're sending people to my books too, because that's how the universe works. Remember, as I'd said, we're all in this world together, right? Hey, join me on Twitter, Facebook, follow me on YouTube, please. And I hope, there we go. If you heard that in the background, they just started, they raced through town. I don't know if you heard that or not, but it's so cool. What a way to start a Sunday. Anyways, I wish the best to you in life and love, and please learn to reflect your natural beauty onto one another. And let's remember, we're all in this world together. That was the theme of today. We are all in this world together. Go within yourself, be who you truly are, and share that with the world. I've got to run now. Until next time, James Nussbaumer signing off.